I'm going to turn the machine on, which is at the rear here of the machine. And you'll see that the light comes on and then the display lights up. So we've changed to using this darker fabric because in the filming process it makes it easier for us to see with the bright light, which is very helpful while quilting, but not very helpful while filming. Okay, our first button is this button with the two arrows, one pointing up, one pointing down, and that tells you whether the needle is up or the needle is down. If I want to bring up my bobbin thread, I'm going to push the button once to take the needle down, and then again to bring it up. And then when I move the machine away, I can lift up that bobbin thread and it magically appears ready to stitch. The next button we're going to talk about is the minus sign and the plus sign here, and they're going to change the number on our stitch count. At the moment the stitch is 10 stitches per inch, which is a great stitch length for quilting. Let me show you what that looks like. Now if I want the stitch length to be less than that, if I want the stitches to be longer, I can use the minus sign here and change this down so I have, say, 4 stitches per inch. That means I'm going to have less stitches in the inch. Let me show you what that looks like. Now this is the perfect stitch length if you would like to baste the quilt before you start quilting. And then I can use the plus sign or the cross to take my stitch length back up to my preferred stitch length, which is 10. And that's what I'm going to stitch with on my quilt. The final button we have is a play sign and a pause sign. When we pause the machine, you'll notice that the little house here goes black. That machine means that the machine is not going to run when I move it or if I bump it. So this is the perfect way to leave the machine as soon as you stop quilting, so you can think about what it is you're doing. You want the little house to be black. I also like to leave the needle down, and that means if I move the machine or I bump it, it's going to stay in exactly the same spot and I'm not going to accidentally get a long stitch in the middle of my quilt. If I'm ready to quilt, I push the play button, the little house goes green, and as soon as I move the machine, it starts stitching. So now I'm finished. I'm going to push pause. The little house is going to go black, and then I'm going to put the needle down and I'm ready to quilt.